In the summer of 1963, a mother in rural Georgia fed her 6 children for the entire month of July on less than $4. She never bought a single thing from the meat counter. The garden gave her everything. The chickens gave her eggs. The creek bank gave her greens that grew wild and free for anyone willing to bend down and pick them. Number 22 grew wild along every southern roadside and fed families who had nothing else. Number 16 was made from the scraps most people threw away. These are 25 forgotten summer recipes that fed poor families on pennies, straight from 1960s cookbooks. Garden food, creek bank food, the food of people who had almost nothing and still ate like summer was a gift. Subscribe before we begin. The countdown starts now. Hoe cakes, the bread of people who had no oven, no time, and no money for yeast. Cornmeal, water, salt, and a hot skillet. That was the entire recipe, and it fed the American South for 200 years. White cornmeal cost 3 cents a cup in 1962. Today, around 20 cents. Water, salt, and bacon drippings. Total then under 5 cents. Today, under $1. Fed 4. You mix cornmeal with boiling water and salt into a loose batter. You heat bacon drippings in a cast iron skillet until they shimmer. You spoon the batter in flat rounds. You fry 3 minutes per side until the edges go lacy and dark gold. The outside crisps. The inside stays soft and steaming. The bacon fat perfumes every bite. Hoe cakes came from Native American cornmeal traditions, adapted by enslaved Africans and poor Southern whites in the 1700s. By 1962, they were still the daily summer bread in working-class homes across the rural South. No oven heat in July. That was the whole reason they survived. Salmon croquettes. A can of salmon stretched to feed a whole family on a hot night when nobody wanted a heavy supper. Cold, crisp, and made in the morning before the kitchen got too hot to stand in. A can of pink salmon cost 49 cents in 1963. Today, around $2.49. Cornmeal, an egg, onion, and bacon drippings. Total then under $1. Today, under $5. Fed 5. You drain the salmon and flake it. You mix in cornmeal, beaten egg, and diced onion. You shape into small patties. You fry them in bacon drippings until the exterior goes dark gold and crisp. The croquettes crunch on the outside. The salmon stays moist inside. The cornmeal crust holds everything together. Salmon croquettes appeared in Southern and Midwestern cookbooks from the 1890s onward. By 1963, they were a summer picnic and weeknight standard in working-class homes everywhere. Made in the cool morning, eaten cold at noon. That was the summer trick. Tomato dumplings. When the garden gave more tomatoes than a family could eat, this turned the surplus into supper. Stewed tomatoes with soft dumplings dropped right into the pot, almost free in August. Garden tomatoes cost nothing in 1962. A can cost 10 cents. Flour, baking powder, milk, butter, and sugar. Total then under 20 cents. Today, under $3. Fed 5. You stew tomatoes with butter, sugar, and salt until bubbling. You mix flour, baking powder, and milk into a soft dough. You drop spoonfuls onto the simmering tomatoes. You cover and cook 15 minutes without lifting the lid. The dumplings puff white and soft. They soak up the sweet tomato underneath. The whole pot goes red and golden. Tomato dumplings came from Appalachian and Southern thrift cooking in the early 1900s. By 1962, they were the August supper in working-class homes, drowning in garden tomatoes. The garden glut became dinner. Nothing went to waste. Creamed peas on toast. When the spring peas came in all at once, this stretched them across a whole family with nothing but a little flour, milk, and stale bread turned into toast. Fresh garden peas cost almost nothing in 1963. A can cost 12 cents. Butter, flour, milk, and white bread. Total then, under 20 cents. Today, under $3. Fed 4. You make a white sauce with butter, flour, and warm milk. You fold in the peas and heat through gently. You toast slices of bread. You spoon the creamed peas over the toast on each plate. The sauce goes ivory and rich. The peas stay bright green. The toast soaks up the cream from underneath. Creamed peas on toast came from English and American thrift cooking traditions in the 1800s. By 1963, it was a late spring and early summer supper in working-class homes across the country. Fresh peas, stale bread saved. A full supper for pennies. Vinegar slaw. The slaw for people who had no mayonnaise, no refrigerator to keep it cold, or no money for either. Cabbage from the garden, vinegar from the pantry, and a little sugar. It kept for days in the summer heat without spoiling. A head of cabbage cost 10 cents in 1963, today around $2. Vinegar, sugar, salt, and celery seed. Total then under 15 cents, today under $3. Fed 8. You shred the cabbage fine. You heat vinegar with sugar, salt, and celery seed until the sugar dissolves. You pour it hot over the cabbage and toss. You let it sit 1 hour until the cabbage wilts and softens. The cabbage goes tangy and tender. The vinegar bites. The sugar rounds it off. Vinegar slaw came from German and Appalachian cooking traditions where mayonnaise was a luxury and vinegar was always on hand. By 1963, it was the summer slaw in working-class Southern and Midwestern homes. It did not spoil in the heat. That mattered more than anything in July of 1963. Here is something nobody says out loud. The garden did not make her poor. The garden made her free. Every tomato she grew was a meal nobody could take away from her. Poke salad. The wild green that grew along every southern roadside and fence line, free for anyone who knew how to cook it safely. It fed families who had nothing else and tasted like the spring itself. Poke greens cost nothing. They grew wild everywhere in 1963. Bacon grease, onion, and an egg. Total then under 10 cents, today under $2. Fed 4. You pick only the young, tender leaves. You boil them in 2 changes of water to remove the bitterness. You drain them. You fry them in bacon grease with diced onion. You scramble an egg into the greens at the end. The greens go dark and tender. The bacon grease enriches them. The egg binds everything together. Poke salad came from Native American and Southern foraging traditions and was a spring staple in poor Appalachian and Southern homes. By 1963, it was still gathered from roadsides across the rural South. It grew free for anyone willing to bend down. That was the whole economy of it. Cornmeal gravy over biscuits. When there was no meat and no money, a little cornmeal browned in grease became a gravy that turned plain biscuits into a filling supper. Pure survival cooking, and better than it had any right to be. Cornmeal cost 3 cents a cup in 1962, today around 20 cents. Bacon drippings, milk, salt, and biscuits. Total then under 15 cents, today under $2. Fed 5. You brown cornmeal in bacon drippings in a skillet, stirring constantly until it goes nutty and golden. You pour in warm milk slowly and stir until it thickens into a gravy. You split hot biscuits and ladle the gravy over them. The gravy goes thick and creamy. The cornmeal gives it body. The biscuits soak it up. Cornmeal gravy came from Appalachian poverty cooking where wheat flour was scarce and cornmeal was always on hand. By 1962, it was a meatless supper in the poorest southern mountain homes. No meat, no money. Still, somehow, supper. Cold potato salad with mustard. The summer dish made in the cool of the morning and kept in the cellar or the icebox for the hottest part of the day. No mayonnaise needed, just mustard, vinegar, and a little sugar. Potatoes cost 20 cents for 5 pounds in 1963. Today, around $3. Mustard, vinegar, onion, and hard-boiled eggs. Total then under 40 cents. Today, under $4. Fed 8. You boil potatoes until tender and dice them. You mix mustard, vinegar, sugar, and salt into a dressing. You toss it with the warm potatoes, diced onion, and chopped hard-boiled egg. You chill it. The potatoes absorb the tangy dressing. The mustard sharpens everything. The egg adds richness. Mustard potato salad came from German immigrant traditions across the Midwest and South. By 1963, it was the summer picnic standard in working-class homes that could not afford or keep mayonnaise in the heat. Made cool, kept cool, eaten cool. The whole strategy of a southern summer. Onion and egg sandwich. The cheapest sandwich in America. A thick slice of raw, sweet onion and a fried egg between 2 slices of white bread. It cost almost nothing, and it filled a working man until supper. A sweet onion cost a few cents in 1962. 2 eggs cost a nickel. White bread and butter. Total then under 15 cents. Today under $2. Fed 2. You fry an egg in butter until the white sets and the yolk stays soft. You slice a sweet summer onion thick. You lay the egg and onion between buttered white bread. The onion is sharp and crisp and cool. The egg is hot and rich. The bread holds it all together. The onion and egg sandwich came from working class and immigrant kitchens across America. By 1962, it was a summer lunch staple when onions were cheap and gardens were full. A few cents, a full belly, a summer afternoon handled. Stewed tomatoes over bread. The August supper for the hottest nights when the garden was buried in tomatoes and the stove could only be lit for a few minutes. Stewed tomatoes ladled over torn bread, sweet and simple. Garden tomatoes cost nothing. A can cost 10 cents. Stale bread, butter, sugar, and salt. Total then under 15 cents. Today under $3. Fed 5. You stew tomatoes with butter, sugar, and salt until they break down. You tear stale bread into chunks in each bowl. You ladle the hot stewed tomatoes over the bread. The tomatoes go sweet and soft. The bread soaks up the juice and swells. The butter makes it rich. Stewed tomatoes over bread came from Southern and Appalachian thrift cooking. By 1963, it was the hot weather supper in working-class homes overwhelmed by garden tomatoes. Stale bread saved. Garden glut used. 5 minutes of stove heat in July. Pole beans with ham hock. The summer bean that climbed the garden fence all season and fed a family for months when cooked low and slow with a single smoky ham hock that flavored the whole pot. Pole beans cost nothing from the garden. A ham hock cost 15 cents in 1963. Onion and salt. Total then under 20 cents. Today under $4. Fed 6. You snap the pole beans into pieces. You drop them in a pot with a ham hock, halved onion, and water. You simmer 2 hours until the beans go completely soft and the broth turns smoky and rich. The beans go olive dark and tender. The pot liquor turns smoky. The ham hock flavors everything. Pole beans with ham hock came from Southern and Appalachian garden cooking. By 1963, they were a summer-long supper in working-class homes where the bean fence fed the family from June to September. 1 ham hock. A whole summer of beans. That was the math. Here is where things get personal. You think you remember the food. You really remember the smell, coming through a screen door on a July evening, and a voice calling you in to eat. Cushaw squash cooked down. The giant crookneck squash that grew enormous in southern gardens and fed families for weeks when cooked down slow with sugar and butter into something between a side dish and a dessert. A cushaw squash cost nothing from the garden in 1962. Butter, sugar, and cinnamon. Total then under 10 cents. Today under $3. Fed 8. You peel and cube the cushaw. You cook it down slow in a heavy pot with butter, sugar, and a little water. You stir until it collapses into a thick, golden mash. You finish with cinnamon. The squash goes soft and golden. The sugar caramelizes slightly. The cinnamon warms it. Cushaw squash came from Native American agricultural traditions adopted across the southern garden. By 1962, it was a late summer staple in working-class Southern and Appalachian homes. One squash fed a family for a week. It grew almost free in the corner of every garden. Skillet fried corn. Fresh corn cut from the cob and fried in bacon grease with its own milky starch until it went creamy and sweet. The taste of August in a single skillet. Fresh corn cost 5 cents an ear in 1963. Today, around 75 cents. Bacon drippings, butter, salt, and sugar. Total then under 30 cents. Today, under $4. Fed 6. You cut the kernels from the cob, then scrape the cob to release the milky starch. You fry it all in bacon drippings with butter, a pinch of sugar, and salt. You cook 10 minutes until it thickens and goes creamy. The corn goes sweet and tender. The starch thickens into a natural cream. The bacon grease enriches everything. Skillet fried corn came from Southern and Native American corn cooking traditions. By 1963, it was the peak summer corn dish in working-class Southern homes. Cut fresh in the morning, fried by noon. Summer on a plate. Buttermilk cucumber salad. The cooling summer salad made from garden cucumbers and a splash of buttermilk that turned the hottest day bearable for pennies. Garden cucumbers cost nothing in 1962. Buttermilk, onion, salt, and dill. Total then under 10 cents. Today, under $3. Fed 6. You slice cucumbers and onion thin. You salt them and let them drain 30 minutes. You toss them with buttermilk and fresh dill. You chill until cold. The cucumbers stay crisp and cool. The buttermilk goes tangy. The dill brightens everything. Buttermilk cucumber salad came from German and Appalachian summer cooking traditions. By 1962, it was a hot weather staple in working-class homes with gardens and dairy cows. Cool, crisp, and almost free in the height of cucumber season. Egg salad on saltines. When the hens were laying heavy in summer, eggs were nearly free, and egg salad spread on saltine crackers became a no-cook lunch on a day too hot to light the stove. A dozen eggs cost 50 cents in 1963. Today, around $3.49. Mustard, a little mayonnaise, salt, and saltines. Total then under 60 cents. Today, under $5. Fed 4. You hard-boil the eggs and chop them. You mix with mustard. Cold beet and egg salad. The Pennsylvania Dutch summer dish where pickled beets stained hard-boiled eggs deep purple and turned two cheap ingredients into something beautiful and filling. Garden beets cost nothing in 1962. A dozen eggs cost 50 cents. Vinegar and sugar. Total then under 60 cents. Today under $5. Fed 6. You boil and slice the beets. You pickle them in vinegar and sugar. You add peeled hard-boiled eggs and let them sit overnight until the eggs turn deep magenta. The eggs stain purple to the yolk. The beets go sweet and tangy. The whole dish is cold and striking. Pickled beets and eggs came from Pennsylvania Dutch summer canning traditions. By 1962, they were a summer cellar staple in working-class German-American homes. Cheap, cold, and beautiful enough to feel like a treat. Fried apple pies. The hand pies made from dried or early summer apples folded into dough and fried in a skillet. Sweet, portable, and made without ever turning on the oven in July. Apples cost almost nothing in summer. Flour, lard, sugar, and cinnamon. Total then under 20 cents. Today under $3. Made 12. You cook apples down with sugar and cinnamon. You roll dough into rounds. You spoon apples onto each, fold into half moons, and crimp. You fry them in lard until golden and blistered. The crust goes crisp and golden. The apple filling oozes sweet and warm. The cinnamon perfumes everything. Fried apple pies came from Appalachian and Southern cooking traditions. By 1962, they were a summer treat in working-class homes that could not heat an oven in the July heat. No oven. Pure summer dessert from pennies of apples. Vegetable soup from garden scraps. The end-of-week soup that used every garden scrap, every leftover vegetable, and every bit of bone in the house. Nothing wasted. Everything in the pot. Garden scraps cost nothing in 1963. A leftover bone, an onion, and salt. Total then under 15 cents. Today under $3. Fed 8. You simmer a bone with water, onion, and salt for an hour. You add every vegetable scrap and trimming from the week. You simmer until everything goes tender and the broth turns rich. The broth goes deep and savory. The vegetables soften completely. Nothing in the kitchen goes to waste. Garden scrap soup came from universal poverty cooking traditions. By 1963, it was the Saturday supper in working-class homes that wasted nothing in the height of garden season. Everything that was left. Into one pot, into one meal. Here is what nobody tells you. She was not surviving on these meals. She was feeding you the taste of an entire summer, and she made it look like nothing at all. Cornbread salad. The layered summer salad that turned leftover cornbread into the centerpiece of a meal, stacked with tomatoes, beans, and whatever the garden offered that week. Leftover cornbread cost nothing. Garden tomatoes, beans, onion, and a little mayonnaise. Total then under 30 cents. Today under $5. Fed 8. You crumble cornbread into the bottom of a bowl. You layer chopped tomatoes, cooked beans, diced onion, and a thin mayonnaise dressing. You repeat the layers. You chill it. The cornbread soaks up the tomato juice. The beans add body. The whole thing goes cool and savory. Cornbread salad came from Southern thrift cooking that refused to waste a single crumb of cornbread. By 1963, it was a summer potluck standard in working-class Southern homes. Yesterday's cornbread, today's whole meal. Sauce and crackers. The cold-pressed meat sliced thin and eaten on crackers on a hot day when no one wanted anything cooked. Made in cool weather and kept all summer in the cellar. A pig's head cost 40 cents in 1963. Today around $5. Vinegar, sage, and crackers. Total then under 50 cents. Today under $7. Fed 10. You simmer the pig's head until the meat falls off. You chop it, season with vinegar and sage, and press it into a loaf. You chill it firm. You slice it cold onto crackers. The sauce slices clean and cold. The vinegar bites. The crackers snap underneath. Sauce came from German and African American whole animal traditions. No cooking on the hot day. Just slicing something made when it was cool. Boiled peanuts. The green peanuts boiled in salty water for hours until soft, eaten warm from a paper sack. The cheapest summer snack in the entire American South. Green peanuts cost a nickel a pound in 1963. Today around $4. Salt and water. Total then under 10 cents. Today under $5. Fed a crowd. You cover green peanuts with heavily salted water. You boil them for 3 hours until the shells soften and the peanuts inside go tender. You eat them warm from the shell. Chow chow relish over beans. The end of garden relish, made from every last green tomato, pepper, and cabbage scrap before frost, spooned over a bowl of beans to turn the plainest supper into something bright. Garden scraps cost nothing in 1962. Vinegar, sugar, and spices. Total then under 20 cents. Today under $4. Made a summer's worth. You chop green tomatoes, cabbage, onion, and peppers fine. You cook them with vinegar, sugar, and pickling spices. You can it in jars for the whole season. You spoon it over a bowl of beans. Fried bologna and tomato sandwich. The summer sandwich that took the cheapest meat in the store, fried it until the edges curled, and stacked it with a thick slice of sun-warm garden tomato. Bologna cost 69 cents a pound in 1963. Today around $3.49. A garden tomato, white bread, and mustard. Total then under 40 cents. Today under $4. Fed 2. Cold, sweet milk toast. The supper for the hottest night of the year. Stale bread, warm sweet milk, butter, and sugar. The meal a mother made when it was too hot for anything else and there was almost nothing in the house. Stale bread cost nothing. Milk, butter, and sugar. Total then under 10 cents. Today under $2. Fed 4.
Cottage cheese and canned peaches. She kept a carton in the refrigerator and a can in the cupboard. That was the whole system. Cottage cheese cost 39 cents in 1965. Today, around $2.49. A can of Del Monte peaches cost 29 cents. Today, around $1.79. Total, then under 70 cents. Today, under $4.50. Fed one person 2 meals. You spoon cottage cheese into a bowl. You drain the peaches and arrange them across the top. You drizzle 1 spoon of reserve syrup over everything. The cheese is cool and white. The peaches are gold and slippery sweet. Cottage cheese with canned fruit appeared in every American Senior Center lunch menu from 1960 through 1985 and became the default no-cook lunch across retirement communities in Florida and Arizona. For a senior with no energy to cook, this bowl delivers protein, calcium, and sweetness in 90 seconds. Tuna salad plate. A can of tuna, a spoon of mayonnaise, and whatever was left in the refrigerator. She made this 3 times a week and never found it boring. Star-kissed tuna cost 35 cents in 1968. Today, $1.89. Hellmann's mayonnaise, celery, and saltine crackers. Total then, under 75 cents. Today, under $5. Fed one person 2 meals. You drain the tuna and flake it fine with a fork. You mix in mayonnaise, diced celery, a squeeze of lemon, and salt. You arrange it on a plate beside saltine crackers, 2 lettuce leaves, and tomato slices. The tuna goes pale and creamy. The crackers stay crisp alongside. Tuna salad plates appeared in every 1965 Better Homes and Garden Senior Meal Planning Guide as the ideal no-cook protein lunch for Americans living alone on fixed incomes. For arthritic hands, a fork and a bowl is the only equipment needed. Deviled ham on crackers, the little can with the red devil on the label. If you are over 65, you know exactly which can this is. It sat in American pantries for 40 straight years. Underwood deviled ham cost 25 cents in 1965. Today, around $2.29. Ritz crackers cost 20 cents. Today, around $2.49. Total then, under 50 cents. Today, under $5. Fed one senior, 2 days. You open the can and stir the contents with a butter knife until smooth. You spread it onto Ritz crackers one at a time. You eat them immediately before the cracker softens. The ham spread is salty and pink. The Ritz snaps clean underneath it. Underwood deviled ham has been sold in America since 1868, making it the oldest branded food product in the country. By 1965, it was the default senior pantry protein from Maine to California. Cucumber and cream cheese tea sandwiches. She made these on a Sunday afternoon and ate them slowly over 4 days. She called it lunch. The women's magazines of 1965 called it elegant. Both were correct. A cucumber cost 15 cents in 1968. Today, around 79 cents. Cream cheese cost 35 cents. Today, around $2.49. Thin white bread. Total then under 60 cents. Today, under $4. Fed 1 senior 4 lunches. You soften the cream cheese. You slice cucumber paper thin. You spread cream cheese onto thin white bread. You layer cucumber slices in overlapping rows. You cut into 4 small rectangles and remove the crusts. The cucumber is cool and crisp. The cream cheese holds everything together softly. Tea sandwiches came to American women's luncheon culture from British tradition in the 1920s. By the 1960s, they were a staple of senior women's club gatherings, from Connecticut to Georgia. Cool, soft, no heat required at any point. Egg salad on soft bread. She hard-boiled 6 eggs Monday morning and made egg salad sandwiches for lunch every day until Thursday. 4 lunches. 1 pot of boiling water on Monday. The rest required no heat at all. 6 eggs cost 39 cents in 1965. Today around $3.49. Mayonnaise, mustard, celery salt, and soft bread. Total then under 60 cents. Today, under $5. Fed 1 senior 4 lunches. You peel cold eggs and chop them medium. You mix with mayonnaise, yellow mustard, celery salt, and black pepper until creamy. You spread thick on soft bread. The egg salad is pale yellow and cool. The bread stays soft around it. Egg salad on soft bread appeared in every American senior meal planning booklet published between 1960 and 1980 as the ideal affordable no-cook protein lunch. 4 lunches from 1 pot of Monday morning boiling water. That is the whole equation.
Skillet cheeseburger pasta. Your mother made this when the grocery money was almost gone and Friday felt far away. A pound of ground beef cost 89 cents in 1978. Elbow macaroni, Velveeta, 1 onion, and canned tomatoes. Under $2.50, fed 6. You brown the beef with onion. You drain the grease. You add dry macaroni, tomatoes, and 2 cups of water. You cover and simmer 12 minutes. You stir in cubed Velveeta until it melts into orange ribbons. The kitchen smells like a school cafeteria on a good day. This skillet came from Midwestern working-class kitchens in the early 1970s and spread through Ohio church cookbooks by 1978. 1 pan, 12 minutes, 6 plates. Nobody went hungry. That was the whole point. Beef and noodle skillet. This was the meal your father made every time your mother worked late. You can still smell it. Ground beef cost 89 cents in 1982. Wide egg noodles, cream of mushroom soup, 1 onion, and beef broth. Under $2, fed 5. You brown beef and onion together. You pour in broth and drop dry noodles directly into the liquid. You cover and simmer 10 minutes. You stir in soup and let it thicken 3 more minutes. The noodles go soft. The sauce turns the color of old gravy. The kitchen smells like a farmhouse in November. This came from Midwestern farmhouse cooking in the 1970s, when one-pan dinners answered every working family's Wednesday problem. Your father always added too much pepper. You never told him, because it was perfect. Tuna noodle skillet. Not the casserole. Not the oven version that dirtied 3 dishes. The skillet version. 20 minutes, 1 pan, 2 cans of tuna cost 58 cents in 1979. Egg noodles, cream of mushroom soup, frozen peas, and milk. Under $2 fed 5. You boil egg noodles directly in the skillet in salted water until they absorb the liquid. You stir in soup, milk, tuna, and frozen peas. You cover and heat 5 minutes. The peas go bright green. The sauce coats every noodle. This came from working mother kitchens in the late 1970s as a faster answer to the oven casserole that dominated since Star-Kissed ads ran in Good Housekeeping in 1955. This was faster. This was better. This was Tuesday. Hamburger and cabbage skillet. This is the one people forget. Cost almost nothing. Fed the most people. Tasted better than it had any right to. Ground beef cost 89 cents in 1981. Half a head of cabbage, 1 onion, canned tomatoes, and garlic. Under $1.50, fed 6. You brown beef with onion and garlic. You add roughly chopped cabbage. You pour in tomatoes. You cover and cook 15 minutes until the cabbage wilts into the beef fat. The kitchen smells like Eastern Europe and the American Midwest simultaneously. This came from Polish and Ukrainian immigrant kitchens in Chicago and Detroit in the 1920s, settling into working-class American homes by 1965. 6 people on $1.50. Not a compromise. Arithmetic.